No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. The bottom line is, no one's coming. Anyway, this concept of parenting yourself is really, really important for you to wrap your brain around. And let me dig into it just a little bit. I write extensively in part 2 of the 5-Second Rule book about how we make decisions. And the fact that we make decisions not based on what we know we need to do, not based on our goals, but based on how we feel right now. It's your feelings that make the decision for you. It's one of the reasons why parents are so important for kids, because if we let it up to kids to do whatever they felt like doing, they'd never go to school, they'd never do their homework, they'd never use their manners, they'd never learn to eat correctly, they'd never do anything. They'd just sit around and watch TV all day. That's the job of a parent. What most of us don't realize, though, and this is what I was alluding to in the TED Talk, is that when you become 18, when you move out of the house, when you're an adult, you have to parent yourself. Here's the rub. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult. And there's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push. And so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. Because the way that our minds are wired, and the fact about human beings, is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us. You're never going to feel like it. Motivation's garbage. You only feel motivated to do the things that are easy. Here's the crazy thing about the fear of failure, okay? The reason why most people fail is because they're afraid of failing. Your fear is making you do the thing you're most afraid of. You fail because you don't try. I mean, it's like crazy. I hope that this is hitting you like a punch in the gut, that it's actually the fear of failing that makes you feel like a failure. And the solution is really simple. You have to push through it because you're never going to get what you want in life if you don't learn how to push yourself outside your comfort zone. Our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. And the way that this all happens is it all starts with something super subtle that none of us ever catch. And that is with this habit that all of us have that nobody's talking about. We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea. You're sitting in a meeting. You have this incredible idea. And instead of just, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. Now, what none of us realize is that when you hesitate, just that moment, that micro moment, that small hesitation, it sends a stress signal to your brain. It wakes your brain up, and your brain all of a sudden goes, oh, wait a minute. Why is he hesitating? He didn't hesitate when he put on his killer spiky sneakers. He didn't hesitate with the really cool track pants. He didn't hesitate with the NASA t-shirt. Now he's hesitating to talk. Something must be up. So then your brain goes to work to protect you. It has a million different ways to protect you. One of them is called the spotlight effect. It's a known phenomenon where your brain magnifies risk. Why? To pull you away from something that it perceives to be a problem. And so you can truly trace every single problem or complaint in your life to silence and hesitation. Don't you dare say the words too old. First of all, let me put this in perspective for you. You need new goals. When you've been at this for a while, the goals that you had a decade ago are not the goals and the things that are going to motivate you right now. You need to write a new chapter, my friend. 11 or 12 years ago, the things that were important to me, the things that mattered, the stuff that I wanted to create 10 or 11 years ago, as a 40-year-old woman, that's not what I'm motivated by now that I'm 52. So give yourself the blessing and give yourself the incredible gift of taking time. Flip the page, man. Look at a blank page. Make new goals. Write a new chapter. Everything that you have experienced in your life is preparing you for this moment. And right now you have this extraordinary opportunity to look at the future with a whole new lens. So instead of beating yourself up for not achieving those goals, why don't you flip your attitude and say to yourself, maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe those goals weren't the ones that are meant for you. What is it that you want in this moment of your life? What have you learned in the last 10 years in terms of doing this business? You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too late, you're not too soon. You can reinvent and rebuild and rethink what you're going to do next any moment you choose. And today is the perfect day to do it. And in fact, I think the reason why that you're watching me right now is because you're supposed to.